Wait, what is that underneath your jacket? Does that say? I think the jacket needs to come off. Is that possible? That a boy. Here we go. How about them Cowboys, Stephen A. Smith? Have a seat.
I'm so disgusted I don't even know what to do with myself.
How does it feel to have lost a bet to the accident waiting to happen that used to be my Dallas Cowboys, that is now your prediction that the Eagles would win the NFC East?
Congratulations, Skip.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Congratulations to the Dallas Cowboy Nation.
That was hard for you to say.
I'm sick to my stomach, I'll openly admit it. Obviously, I couldn't avoid showing up to work today. Y'all got me, man. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. Dez, I saw his photo. What was it, a Twitter, Instagram, whatever?
Yeah.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Y'all got me. I got to sit here for 2 hours like this? Skip, this shirt like
2
this?
hours.
Let's go, man.
What a way to start First Take. Thank you, guys, for that entertaining
Yeah.
introduction.
Whatever.
I am Doug Kazarian, filling in for Carrie Champion, who somehow is missing all the fireworks. Too bad for her. But, gentlemen, it's good to be back. Stephen A., how about them Cowboys?
I'm so disgusted with the Eagles right now. I can't really put into words how disgusted I am with the Eagles. But on this day, Skip Bayless, I'm going to be a man about it. A man that I don't believe you'd ever be. But I'm going to be this way. I'm going to acknowledge, first of all, this is the second time I've lost this bet. I got a little hyper before my birthday and thought they weren't going to go to Seattle and do what they did. But this is the real bet that I lost because, obviously, from the time the season began, never in my wildest dreams did I believe that putrid secondary, that awful, pathetic defense that was the Dallas Cowboys last year would be able to resurrect themselves after making minimal moves this offseason. Never did I believe that the Dallas Cowboys would find themselves in a position where they're the NFC East champs, having 11 wins on their docket instead of an 8-8 season back to back for the last 3 years. I didn't see this coming. I saw their offense doing what it does. I saw DeMarco Murray. I didn't think they'd be smart enough to give DeMarco Murray the football. I knew what he could do, but I didn't think they'd be smart enough to give him the ball. I knew Dez Bryant was going to do what he did, but I thought that Tony Romo would be Mark Sanchez. Big moments, big games, big-time yardage accumulated, etc. But when it really, really counted, Tony Romo would be an accident waiting to happen, or Jerry Jones would cause an accident, or Stephen Jones would cause an accident, or this defense would cause an accident. So far, they've proven me wrong. I mean, I still hold out because, remember, I kept talking about even if they make the playoffs, there's still an accident waiting to happen. But on this day, I don't get to make that case. Tony Romo looked sensational yesterday. Dez Bryant looks like a stud. DeMarco Murray is the best running back in football. This offensive line is the best offensive line in football. And this defense, led by Rod Marinelli, I agree with your nauseating tweets that you continuously sent out where you talked about he's the assistant coach of the year.
Thank you.
I saw them. I admit it. The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys and NFC East champs, man.
Could you say it one more time just for me, please?
No, I will not say that again. I have no choice.
Okay.
The Dallas Cowboys are the NFC East champs. Congratulations. They deserve it. There's nothing I can say. I just can't say anything.
I get to say it one more time because I deserve it. After all I've sat through, thanks to you and your ridicule, the Dallas Cowboys, my Dallas Cowboys, that I have loved since I was a little kid, are the NFC East champions. America's team is back, baby, and it is peaking at just the right time. And you know what? I almost wish I were wearing your T-shirt today because I do heart Jerry Jones. In fact, I can maybe even make a case that Jerry Jones should be Executive of the Year in the National Football League.
I will happily take off the shirt for you and give it to you
No,
if you
you're
like.
going to wear it for the next 2 hours. I might wear it tomorrow. I just might wear it tomorrow just so I can extend this day. And I do want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all those great Cowboy fans out there who suffered through 6-10, 8 and having to hear him say 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. NFC East champions. And Stephen A., I want to tell our audience, I still love you like a brother. You're showing great courage to come in here and take this from me. But I gave you a pass because I had to a week ago on this day after my Cowboys won at the Eagles because it was not over yet. And so I had to bite my tongue and swallow just a little bit of my gloating pride because I knew there was still a chance that your Eagles would rebound and maybe they could win at the Redskins. And I didn't know what my Cowboys would do after losing 3 straight at home. And by the way, how about that Andrew Luck yesterday? He's your guy. He's a first ballot Luck Hall of Famer. How do you explain he threw 2 interceptions at Jerry World?
Skip.
Wow.
Praising the Cowboys is one thing.
Okay.
Denigrating Andrew Luck. Denigrate the Colts is another because how many dropped passes did you see the Colts? A couple.
Yeah, there were a couple.
A couple. There were several. Yeah. The Colts lead the league in drop passes. Disgusting.
Okay. I just want to remind our audience how many Mondays I have had to sit in this seat and hear this man openly laugh out loud at me. It's a little bit of a stage laugh, but he laughed and he laughed and he laughed at the quote-unquote accident waiting to happen that was my Dallas Cowboys and my quarterback, Tony Romo. And I kept telling him all through this year, this is a happy new year. This is a different football team and a different quarterback. And I kept saying, Stephen A. Smith, he who laughs last laughs best. So now I, am laughing last because my Cowboys are in the playoffs and the Eagles that you swore by, that you lauded, that you praised, that you all but worshipped all year long, Chip Kelly's unstoppable offense. It didn't even matter whether it was Nick Foles or Mark Sanchez at quarterback. It's the genius of Chip Kelly. They are home for the playoffs. So you went from fly like an eagle to cry like an eagle, because you bet in the end on the ultimate accident waiting to happen, Mark Sanchez. And Saturday night, I was with Ernestine in New York City, and we are watching the Eagles at the Redskins. And I kept pacing, and I kept saying, trust me, he will throw an interception. He will turn it over. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just knew it would happen. The ultimate accident waiting to happen. Mark Sanchez with 1 minute and 31 seconds left. He came through for me. He threw the pick that killed the momentum and swung the game in favor of RG3's Washington Redskins. Wait, did RG3 win a game for me after all the support that I lent him? I stayed in RG3's corner, and he finally paid me back. Just in a little way, but he paid me back thanks to Sanchez, which brings me to my quarterback. My quarterback, Tony Romo, the man who has received the most ridicule on the show, and I'll be the first to admit, in years past, from me. But this year I said, despite that opening Sunday, that devastating loss to the 49ers, who are also out of the playoffs, Tony Romo threw 3 interceptions in the first half of the opener at home at Jerry World. And you laughed at me. And then Tony Romo against Washington on Monday Night Football at home. He just looked like a shell of himself. He was pathetic, and he got sacked 5 times, and he finally got hurt, and they lost to the rival pathetic Redskins. And then on Thanksgiving, my worst nightmare, Thanksgiving, the stage my Cowboys used to own, and Tony Romo was awful. and so were my Cowboys, and your Eagles romped, and they celebrated on the sideline at Jerry World like they had just won the division. 33-10, it was over. And the next day, you laughed, and you laughed, and you laughed at me, and I hung in there, and I said, nope, my Cowboys are going to figure out how to win the NFC East. Which brings me to my defense, a defense that ranked 32nd last year in yards allowed. That's the bottom of the barrel. You cannot go any lower than 32nd in the National Football League. And they improved 15 slots. Again, have I said any time this year they're great? No, but they're pretty good. They're ranked 17th in yards allowed and points allowed. Who knew? Rod Marinelli, congratulations. Thank you. Welcome back. You are the assistant coach of the year. Rod Marinelli was the driving force behind this football team, Stephen A. Smith. Tony Romo grew up this year, and Rod Marinelli taught a defense how to at least play hard every snap, every game. As under-talented as they might have been, they played hard. They flew to the football, and they never quit flying to the football, no matter what the circumstance was. And they hung in until yesterday. They held the Indianapolis Colts to 1 yard. 1 yard rushing yesterday? They have peaked right on time. Tony Romo is now making a case. We're going to debate this later. I think he just edged ahead of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers for NFL MVP. He now leads the National Football League in QBR. Again, on scale of 0 to 100. Tony Romo is all the way up into the 80s? Is that possible? Tony Romo at 82.3 ahead of Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning? Really? And Stephen A., in the second halves and overtimes this year, Tony Romo is on a pace to set an all-time record, 91.1 QBR in the second halves and overtime. I would say that's a pretty strong MVP case right now. Tony Romo, dare I say, is having a December to remember after all the collapses and failures and implosions and accidents that did happen in December of years past. Tony Romo is having a December to remember. My Cowboys have come together at exactly the right time. They demolished Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. It was very nearly 42-0. And it wound up 42-7. What a statement they made. Dallas is in the playoffs, and how could it be? The Eagles are home for the holidays. Way to go, Stephen A. I appreciate you picking against my Cowboys.